Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be teaching you the fundamental basics of Blender. Now if you're anything like me and you've just started up, you're going to be looking at this and you're going to be feeling a little bit frustrated. You're not going to know what all of this means in the corner here, you're not going to know what this means. This is your timeline at the bottom for animation, by the way. You're not going to know what this means and you're not going to know what this means right here, so I'm going to teach you some fundamental basics here that I learned as I went on. So all documents start with a default cube, a default camera, and also a default lamp. So in the corner here as well, I also have a representation of my mouse and also my keyboard. So if I hit the letter A, that's going to select everything, and of course A will show up here. To unselect everything, I just click away into the void here. Also, this mouse will show me and also you what I'm clicking. So if I click the left button on my mouse, see, it highlights. If I click the scroll wheel, it highlights, and if I click the right one, it will highlight as well. So every document starts off with the default cube, as I've already mentioned, and if you would like to delete this default cube, as many users do, because who wants to keep the default cube, you press delete on your keyboard and it will delete. Now keyboards differ from laptops to generalized keyboards. If I want to undo this, I just press Ctrl Z. So your delete button may be in a different place to mine, but if you can't find your delete button, you just right click on this and you just press here, delete. I'll undo that again, and if I want to delete it in another way, I can just press X and it will come up with delete. So if we go into edit mode right here, we can see that we have different sides to this cube, and we also have these little dots on the edge. Now these are your faces, your vertices, and also you have up here edge select, face select, and your vertex select. So your vertex select is these little dots on the corner right here. So we have one here, one here, one here, one here, and then we will have some on the base under here. If you want to select the sides of your cube or your sides of your object, you click here onto this one, and then we're just gonna click the actual side that we need. Now if you want to select multiple sides, you hold down Shift and then you will click the sides that you require. Just keep hold of Shift and you'll notice that the actual face itself will select. Now that's a general thing that does happen, because if you've selected all of these vertices right here, it will select the entire thing because you'll be working with that side. A no-brainer. So if I'd like to manipulate this cube, make it a little bit longer, I'm going to press A, which selects everything. And of course to rotate, you're just going to hold in the center scroll wheel and you can just drag and it will rotate on all axes. So if I want to elongate this cube, I'm going to go to S, and then I'm just going to press the center scroll wheel and I'm just going to drag across, and that will make it longer. If I want to make it longer this way, I will press S, center scroll wheel, and then just drag it. And of course we can see that this is no longer a cube. If I'd like to size this, I can press S. Don't press the middle scroll wheel, just let it go inwards and you can resize just as so. Now say if I wanted to manipulate this cube a little bit and I wanted to extrude one of these sides right here, I can press E for extrude and then just drag up to however high I would like it, and then I can press S to scale, E to extrude, and I have now a cube upon a cube. Now say if I wanted to take out this section right here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you how to make a television. So I want to select everything, scroll across. This can be like the base of the television. Select this top here, and we go down Oops. There we go. Press extrude, which it's not done anything here, but I just need to scale it inwards so that we've kind of got a little stand here. Then I can extrude this upwards. So that would be our TV stand, so to speak. Extrude again. And then I'm going to click on this one here. It's going to be a little bit of a weird kind of TV stand, but I'm going to select that one, select this one, and so forth. Maybe scale this down a little bit. So I've got a shape like that. And then G for, so I can go up and down. Let's select this face right here. Maybe I'll extrude just a little bit. So this will be the TV stand. And I'm going to extrude again. Maybe just, excuse me 1 second. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this. So it's not looking much like a TV at the moment, so I'm going to scale it outwards. And then we can place that there. Now, if you've noticed, you can see these lines right here. This means that the vertices is intercepting here. So the way that we can solve this is we can either pull it forward and go G, and then these will disappear virtually, and then maybe extrude a little bit just to make that little part of the screen there. And then we go extrude, and I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm not going to pull it outwards. I'm just going to push it inwards. So I'm going to go scale, and then I'm going to go extrude again. Now I'm not going to go all the way to the back. As you can see, it intercepts with the other vertices. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it a little bit back, just a smidge. Okay, so there we go. We have like a basic TV. It's not perfect, but it'll do for this tutorial. Or even a computer screen. It looks more like a computer screen, if I'm being honest with you. So, if I want to manipulate the colours with this, oh, actually what we'll do first, we'll go back to object mode and I'll show you these options right here. So, this is your wireframe option. So it'll show you all your vertices and where they are. Very handy if you're doing a big project and you need to find a particular point that you're working with. And also we can take off the background here so that we just have the object. Let's re-click that so it comes back, so all our measurements will come back as well. Then this one is just your normal setting that we've just seen. This one's more your detailed setting. So this will show your colours, this will show your textures. It'll show basically a rendered version of it that your computer can handle. Now, the last one is rendered. This is the one where it'll show the real shadows and stuff like that. So if we take this lamp right here and we press G and then we use the center scroll to just move it, you can see that the light's going to change there. And I can manipulate that as so. Now your camera, we'll talk about this in a moment, but I'll just place that in front of the screen. Now this screen is very grey, it's very dull. I would like to add some sort of colour, some sort of texture to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to this one. Because we can see the colours on there. We're going to go to edit mode. And then we're going to come here to what looks like a world. And you can see that the base colour here is white. So if I change this on the colour wheel, it will change colour as so. So I'd like maybe the edge of this television to be black and then the middle to be almost like a grey colour. And maybe the stand, I'm not too sure. Maybe I can make the outside of the TV a grey actually. So to colour this object, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the centre one right here and I'm going to make a new one. So we click new, we click assign, and I can put in here screen and press accept for that one. And then I can change the colour of the screen without changing the rest of it. Now you can see that this is selected and you can't really see what's going on, so I'm just going to click away and you can see that that changes colour right there. I go back to the actual original colour, and I can change it to any colour that I'd like. So I'm going to go with maybe a little bit of grey. And also, if this is a plasma screen, you're not going to see any reflections on there, so I'm not going to need any kind of reflective, which is the metallic kind of thing. If I turn up the metallic, it makes it very reflective. If I keep it down, it won't be. So the spectacle is, how do I describe this? It's basically the light that you can see bouncing off it. The roughness is how rough it will be. So you can see that I can make this a mirror. If I turn the roughness down and if I turn the roughness up, then it'll be less of a mirror. So we know that TVs sometimes have a little bit of a reflection to them. So I'll just make that just slightly reflective. Now as for the original colour, the original material, maybe I want almost a black. Now if I've got a black plastic, the roughness on it won't be that rough. You'll have some sort of reflection, as you generally do on surrounds for TVs, more than you would on the screen. So I'll just do that, mess around with the spectacle a bit. And you can do a little bit of clear coat, just for like the protection of it. Maybe it's a bit too mirrored, so I'll just bring that roughness up a little bit. Now I want the stand to be a different colour as well, so I'm going to select the sides that I need. I'm going to press shift, and then I'm just going to go ahead and select everything that I would like to change. Maybe I'll change the base here as well. Okay, so we want to make this a brand new colour. So we're going to go ahead and press the plus button right here. And we're going to click new, assign. Click off this, and you notice that it'll turn white because our new assigned colour is white. We have not changed anything about it just yet. I'm also going to lower the spectacle. And this is how it should look. Maybe I'll just round off these sides just a little bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click for the sides and just pull that in a little bit. And there we go, one basic television. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up to the lines here. As you can see that it's just underneath the measurements. I'm going to press G, and then we will select for the middle and just drag it up to where we need to be. Also, I'm going to add a plane to this as well, and what the plane will do will just give us a surface to work with. Scale it up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to work with the camera now. And if I grab it in the corner here and just drag across, I can show you how to use this. You don't have to do this, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm just splitting my screen in half. So we're going to go to view, viewpoint, camera. So this is what the camera can see. Now you can see that the camera can't see the television because it's pointing this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it around. So we're going to press R for rotate, the center to choose our plane, and we're just going to rotate it to where we need it to be. I can just see the base of the TV there. And again, we're going to go ahead, rotate to the plane that we need it to be, and we're just going to bring it up. And you can see that I can sort of see the TV there, but it's a little bit too close. So we're going to go ahead and click G, and then we're just going to drag it back. Now, coming onto this plane right here, I'm going to press R, which is going to rotate it, and I can rotate as much as I want. And then we're going to press G, and I'm going to hold in the center, brings it back a little bit, and then G again, and just move the mouse to where I need it to be. So you can see that it's kind of cut off here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on this plane and I'm just going to rotate it down a little bit more, on the plane that I need it to be. That's wrong. And there we go. We can see that there's a television sat right there. Maybe bring it a little bit closer. And just across, just slightly. And there we go. So, let's just get rid of that. And then when I press render, you can see that we have the TV here. Now, working with the lighting itself, this is a white light. If I want to change the colour of the light, I shall show you how to do now, and we will talk about the different types of lighting. Just going to make this a little bit smaller, so you can still see, but it's just easier. So right here is all your lighting settings. So we have a sunlight, which represents the sun. We have a spotlight, which will only see a little bit of a spot on, as you can see here. Then we have an area light, which is just a general light. So in this instance, I think we're going to go with the sun. Bring that over there. Maybe rotate. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go with the spot one. This seems better. So, we can increase our power just here, which gives us a little bit more light. As you can see, the shadows here are becoming a lot deeper. If I want to diffuse this a little bit, brings it down. Spectacle of how much light hits the object right here, as you can see, and then the volume of the light as well, and how far it can go. Now we can do the size right here, which will bring it outwards a little bit, and we can also do the blend. So this means that we have very sharp shadows to light. Excuse me. I go back to the blend here, and then if we add more of the blend, we can see that it blends more. It does what it says on the tin, basically. Now, I like this one, but I'd like to change the colour of it a little bit. So I'm going to go to the colour wheel right here. I can change it to an orange, a red, purples, blues, greens. I quite like the blues actually. I'm going to change that to that. And then I'd like to duplicate this and add maybe another colour to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Shift D. And you will get an automatic copy. And if you'd like it on the same plane, you just go ahead, click the centre scroll and go here. So you can see that we have two lights here, and this one's not quite pointing towards it, so I'm just going to rotate this inwards. Maybe let's bring it across just slightly. Now if I go back to my camera view, right here, viewpoint camera, you can see that we have two light sources. Now I want to change this one and maybe change it to a pink. Very hot pink. And bring both of these a little bit closer together, and we're just going to do that. I'll just press S and just move them inwards. And you can see that we both have the lights on those here. Viewpoint and camera again. Okie dokie. So if I'd like to increase the power of one of the lights, especially this purple one right here, because I think it's too dull, I can just go ahead and move that. Now let's do an opposite colour to the purple here. Let's do, say, a green. Or an orange. You'll see that the colours will mix right here. And perhaps I want a background as well, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to select both of these, Shift D, and then we'll bring them over here. Now, I'd like to rotate them around because they're pointing the wrong way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click R for rotate, choose the blue axis, and then we are going to hit on our keyboard 180 to change the direction to 180 degrees. and you can see that we have now a little shadow as well. And maybe I want to change the colours of these two. So you just go ahead and you just choose random colours. And I'm going to show you why this is important, because the lighting is a lot different from what the objects do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a default cube. And I'll show you what I mean by this. So we take our default cube right here and say we want to add the colour blue. And go on to this one and you can see that it's blue. Now we're in object mode at the minute, we're not in edit mode, but if I click Shift D and I duplicate this, the other cube is blue. So I want to change this cube to pink. And oh my goodness, the original cube's changed colour now. So I'm going to click Control Z. And you want these two cubes two different colours, but you're not really too sure how to do it. So what we're going to have to do right here is go into edit mode. And because this is the same cube and you've just duplicated it, the computer is going to assume that you want it the same colour. So we're going to go with plus here, just like we did with the TV, and we're going to go new. And then we're going to assign, because all of this is selected right here. And you'll see that it turns white. And then we're going to go ahead and change this to a green colour. So now when we go back to object mode, we have two cubes that are the exact same cube because we have duplicated them, but they're different colours. And also when we go into the rendered version, they will remain different colours as well. Just bring these down. Now you see that my computer's handling this rendered version very well. If your computer's not handling it very well and it's very slow, you may have a lower graphics card than mine. My one at the minute is one of the best on the market, so it's going to behave differently to your computer. But don't despair about that. I started off with a notebook laptop, and the bare minimum that I could do with that was maybe make a water simulation. That was what it could do. Nowadays I can do much more because I invested more money into it. I got a job. I put maybe 100 away a month or something, and I got myself a better PC that could handle what I would like to do with it. So if you're starting out and you're struggling with this and your computer doesn't have enough power, don't dismay. Don't dismay. You know, there are other options for PCs out there that you can invest in. Okay, so that will be the end of our tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.